And here we are in the New Orleans Convention Center at Hall J for the Trimble Conference. And the name of the conference is called Where Technology Meets the Road. And it's very interesting. It's all about trucking, and there's not a truck in sight. It's so crazy. Elisabeth Barna is about to join us. She is the founder and principal, of course, of EAB Strategies. Longtime friend personally and friend of the show. And, of course, Elisabeth, good morning.
Good morning, Dave. How are you?
Doing great. It's kind of funny. This is not the first trucking show that we've been to in the last couple of years that had no trucks. Because,
that's so funny.
It's kind of strange because back in the day, even Matt's, Mid-American Trucking Show, it would always be, well, what does the new truck look like? All of the new models are out there. The models are there. Peterbilt used to have the girls in the evening dresses playing the grand pianos.
That's right.
Remember all of that stuff? And everybody wanted to see the new trucks. And the truck today looks like the truck from yesterday until you take the dashboard off and look at all of the computers in there. That's where all of the new stuff is. So this is a trucking show with no trucks, but it's all about trucks. It's sort of a strange new world we're kind of entering into, I think, in a sense,
Well, it's also all of the technology, over the years has gotten smaller. So you can add more to that dashboard. I mean, I think you remember when the first cell phone came out, it was like a big brick.
Oh, yeah.
And now look at the size of cell phones.
Bag phones, brick phones, yeah, you name it, for sure.
Right.
For sure. I remember
and
when...
the drivers didn't like technology.
True. The more primitive a truck could be, the better it was, but only until after the streamlined modern trucks were there, because when the trucks were actually primitive in the primitive days, man, that was a rough road to hoe. That was rough. I mean, when you had to sit out, if there was a hood, if it wasn't a cab over and you had a hood, in the wintertime, a lot of drivers would have to go and lay down on the hood to stay warm for a little while in the winter because there was no amenities for the driver in the trucks at all, even up until the late 1950s. In fact, that's how TMC got born at the RCCC conference, where the Technology and Maintenance Council was just a little side panel, and then they basically said, wait a minute, we got to do something about these drivers. So all day here at Trimble, we've been talking about driver this and driver that, but it's all done from the perspective of the cloud and transportation management systems and artificial intelligence and machine learning. But, most of the people we've talked to here today are so driver-centric, but they're surrounded with all of this technology. It's really refreshing to kind of see that the humanity, and in fact the human element, and we were talking about that earlier, the human element in trucking is far from disappearing, although on the surface it looks like it's gone, doesn't it?
It does. But I've always said you've got to have a driver in the cab, but they do so much more than drive. They know how to work that technology. They know how to report maintenance. They know how to sell their product, sell their services. So there's a huge human element to everything.
I know. What is, this is Monday morning, and what does your week look like? What are some of the things that EB is going to be looking at here this week?
Well, EAB has day 11 with a new knee. Had full knee replacement surgery, and so it's a week full of PT, but also a lot of Race Across America work. The escort to Arlington departs December 7th. You were on that with me last year, Dave.
Yeah.
So trying to get a lot of the states and the national associations to wrap up all of their reef sponsorship sales. which has, you've really seen it tick up now that November has hit. So we'll be working on that a lot and doing some other work. One of my clients has a telematics platform, and so I have been introducing them to a lot of folks, and I went to MC&E with them and had some really, really good conversations.
Was
so
there
just a lot of follow-up that way?
Mm-hmm. I wanted to ask you. You mentioned MC&E, and I wanted to ask you a question that I used to ask all the time when folks would go to a big trucking conference or meeting, convention. Was there a general mood, a general ambiance there in terms of a general mindset among the folks who were there? You know what I mean? A general
Right,
overall
yeah.
mood. Did you pick up on anything in particular this year?
I mean, I think people are really worried about the economy and when it is going to come back for trucking. A lot of economists and Bob as well, second quarter 2026, you see some companies seeing the uptick, others staying flat, and then others, of course, shutting their doors. But there's also an excitement to see what is out there in terms of technology, in terms of new, what was on the show floor, which was a great show floor. But to see what's out there new so that when the economy does turn around, people are ready to make those decisions and those upgrades to their fleet or to their company. So there was a lot of that. I think also just a lot of uncertainty with, tariffs and, everything that the administration is doing.
The administration, for good or bad, we don't take any political stand here, never have in over
Right.
50 years, but this administration, in terms of trucking itself, seems to be bent on doing stuff a little faster than the 5-year sagas of getting rules changed. We do a year-long study, and then we study the study for a year, then we put out the notice of proposed rulemaking, then we let that ride. And 3 years, we forgot what the rule was supposed. Anyway, where are we on stuff like that?
Yeah, I do think that they're moving quickly, and I think Secretary Duffy is doing a great job in highlighting some of the issues and working with the trucking industry. I think that has been, really a breath of fresh air, that he's accessible, but also, they're out there talking about it just as much as they are with the airlines. So I think there's a lot of good work being done, and if it's not getting done, they're listening at least to both sides, which I think is really important.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, we love listening to your side, and you know that. So always a treat to get to visit with you at a long distance, but certainly hope to see you again soon, someplace. Well, again, maybe in Washington. Yeah, we'll be there for wreaths.
That would be great.
Yeah.
No,
Are you heading up?
I won't be going to the cemetery. Just it's a lot of walking that day, but I may be
You got a new
volunteering
knee
at the door or something. Right.
Yeah, gotcha.
I
Elizabeth
am not
Barna.
going to the Escort, but I will be at one of the stops on Tuesday. The Massachusetts Trucking Association is hosting a stop at Polar Park, which is the Red Sox field team. Mm-hmm. And so I've been helping them with that. So I'm going to fly up for that event.
Fantastic. Well, we'll talk to you before then.